What's going on today, guys? Austin from Ratchet Wrenches here. Today I'm going to do a DSG service, obviously with the filter, on a Mark 5 GTI. And this is the same for any DSG, including the newer ones. And S-Tronic, which is on the Audis, so it's the same thing, same procedure. Maybe different locations and whatnot, but definitely the same stuff. But as you can see, the quality of the camera is better. We finally got the GoPro 7. So we're going to be filming with this and bringing you guys better content. The next thing we need is just the editing software, and we can get that, and then we'll have amazing content for you guys. But before we get into it, note, this is not a job that your average do-it-yourselfer could do, because this isn't just like your regular transmission drain and refill. This, you need special equipment. Obviously you're going to need the filter and whatnot, but you have to get these either online. You can't get them at your local auto parts store, or you can get them at the Volkswagen dealer. But I highly recommend not doing this if you're not qualified, because you could really fuck up your transmission. And once you fuck up your DSG, you're going to be looking at the mechatronics, you're going to be looking at clutch plates, you're going to be looking at a whole replacement. You don't want to do that. So definitely either study this religiously and take notes, but just be careful. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, first thing we're going to want to do is take this off. So under the battery, there's a transmission filter housing, so you're going to want to get everything out of the way so you can access that. You probably, if you don't have a aftermarket air intake, you probably have the stock housing, so there's a little more to this to get that out, but I don't have that, so I'll just do it my way. These on mine are 12, so I'm just going to take that out, take the battery out, and there's a hold down there. And then on this side, I'll get that out of the way. We'll go to the next step. But just keep in mind, when you take off the battery, you're going to have to reset your steering. And you're going to have to reset all the power windows. You might lose your radio stations, unless you have a memory saver. But no biggie, it's easy to do. I'll show you guys how to do it at the end. Alright, so we're just going to remove the terminal bolts. Now I'm going to do the hold down bolt. It's, I think, a 13 millimeter. Alright, that's loose. Be careful, you don't want to have it fall down. So it's going to look like this. You're going to have a little bolt, and then you have the hold down plate. Just get that out of the way. This should be loose. Alright, so now pretty much what I'm going to do is remove this bolt. There is a bolt right there. And now let's get this out of the way. There's a bolt down here. They're all 10 millimeter bolts. I'm going to get them off, and that will remove this whole battery tray. And then obviously you can remove this. Yeah, I'm not going to film this because it's pretty straightforward, so I'll just show you the next step. Alright, I got the 3 screws out. Now this whole tray will slide out, but you know what, I'm going to make it easier. I'm just going to take this little tray out. Once again, this is aftermarket, so you might not have this, but ultimately I just want to get this tray out to access the filter. So I'm going to loosen this up, get this out. Alright, so I got the tray out. Now down here is the filter housing. It's going to take a 24 millimeter. Loosen that up. Be careful, because you're going to obviously have seepage, so you might want to put some like rags down, which I'm going to go get in a second, just to catch a little bit of it, but it might not be a lot, but just to be safe, put some rags down. Alright, let's see if I can dip with this. I'm going to do the rest by hand, so I have a better control over it. Yeah, right there broke the seal, so it's gonna start seeping out a little bit. Yep, there it goes. I mean, if you let it sit for a little while, obviously it's gravity, so it's gonna go down because the trans pans down. So we'll just kind of slowly get it, let it all go down. Alright, there's the housing. And then the filters, you know what, I'm gonna take it off with this. Let it drip a little bit. Pretty dirty, I'd say. So you got the housing and the filter. Filter I'm just gonna throw in the trash. So you have an O-ring around it. We're gonna pretty much take that off, replace it with a new one, and then I'm gonna put the new filter in. If you have a sensitive nose, just be warned, this shit smells. Always want to lube your O-ring so it doesn't get stuck. So when you put this back in the car, this side goes down because it sits in a groove. So just gonna put the filter in. It should push in. You give it a little turn and whatnot. Now I'm gonna put the cap on. Screw it down. And I'm gonna have to Google the torque spec because I forget off the top of my head. So I'll put that in the description. Make sure you don't over tighten it because you'll crack this little plastic housing. Alright, so we got the car up in the air. Put a jackson on this side and that side. Now the trans, obviously if you saw where I took the filter out, the trans is gonna be right under it. And it is a 14mm drain bolt right here. Loosen that, let it drip into the drain pan. Let's see if I can get it with this short of a ratchet. There we go. So I'm just gonna let that. And keep in mind there's a gasket. If you didn't get a new one, which you should, just be sure to reuse that one, clean off real well. But I would recommend replacing it. It's like $2 extra. Come on. So let that drain. And once that's all done, there's a drain bolt inside of it, which is an 8mm Allen key. The first part is drained. Now we're gonna go find that second little Allen key if I can find it. There it goes. We gotta get it all the way out though. And there it is. And that should be the rest of the pan. Once again, I'm not going to bore you, so I'll cut it. So now we're going to put that little 8mm in there. And this, you don't want to over tighten. It will just get snug, and you'll leave it at that. Like right there. I'll give it a little bit of a turn, but nothing major. I'm sure it's a couple Newton meters, but we're just gonna do a little turn right there. Now I have the new gasket on. Put that one up. Unfortunately, I lost the tool. Otherwise, I'd be filling it from here. So we're gonna have to go back up top and fill it a different way, which is gonna be through the filter housing. So I'm gonna have to take that off again and then fill that way. Usually there's a quicker way though. There's an attachment that you put on here and you feed it through. But I can't find my attachment, so I'm gonna have to do it the other way. Obviously clean up your work. Probably take some brake clean to it. I didn't make that much of a mess, so I'm not gonna bother. Alright, so that's the old trans fluid, or DSG fluid. It's pretty black. So now what you're gonna wanna do is get a funnel, and they have markings on the side obviously, and you're gonna wanna measure exactly how much came out to put back in. So I'm gonna fill this up to a quart, and then dump it in a waste bucket, so on and so forth until there's no more in here, and then I count how much quarts or liters there is to put back in the trans. So since we have to do it the other way, I took the filter and the housing off. I got this funnel from AutoZone. It's got that tip. That tip you'll put right in that little circle, and then you're gonna gravity feed it. So I'm gonna set it up and then I'll show you. Alright, so I have it in the hole. Have this connected to a wire tie, connected to a bungee cord on the hood latch, just so it's held upright, because if you sit here and hold it upright the whole time, you're gonna be tired. It doesn't go down 1, 2, 3. Gravity takes a little time, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna pour 1 quart at a time in here. I have a total of 5 quarts. In here was like 4.8, but I had probably 0.2 absorbed into the filter. Right, so I'm gonna pour the first quart in. Oh, it's so much clearer compared to that burnt shit. I'm not gonna do the whole thing at once because unfortunately the bungee cord's not that taut, so I don't wanna risk spilling it, but I'm gonna open up the check valve and let gravity do its thing. I'd say it's probably gonna take about 45 minutes to an hour to be fully filled. So this is the longest part of the process. Once we're done here, it's pretty much tighten it all up, put the battery back in, put the filter obviously in, and we'll go in the car, warm it up, go through the gears, and then I'll show you how to reset the electronics, such as the windows and whatnot, and the steering because of the battery being pulled out. So it's all back together. Now we're gonna go inside. Start it up. We're gonna have all these codes on. We're not gonna touch the the gear box yet because the trans has to warm up to at least, I think it's like 180 degrees or something like that. But we'll let that be. To get rid of that right there, and right there, we're pretty much just gonna turn the wheel all the way to the right, turn all the way to the left, back to the right, and then center out. And then once you drive, it will go away like within 5 seconds. The windows are not automatic anymore, so what you're gonna have to do, bring it all the way down, click it up, but not all the way up, like on the button, not all the way up. Now you click it up, hold it for 5 seconds, release it, and that works perfectly. Should go up and down automatically. Then we have to do this side. Same procedure. Bring it all the way down. Bring it up. And up again for 5 seconds. Let go. And voila, that's fixed. Those will go away when we're driving. I'm gonna let the car warm up, the transmission warm up before we're gonna start going through the gears. Alright, the car's warmed up. I'd say the trans is, I don't have the software to plug it in, but I'd say it's pretty warm by now. So you just want to go through the gears, reverse, neutral, drive, triptonic mode, up, down, S for sport, drive, up, down, neutral, reverse, park. So pretty much what you're looking for is any restriction, and what you're doing right now is just moving the oil, the DSG oil, in between the gears, so it's just lubricating it and whatnot. So definitely, if you have any restriction, then you have an issue, so be careful. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please smash that subscribe button, comment, like, and don't forget to buy our merchandise. Ratchet Wrench is out. Peace.